I paid off my family's $680,000 mortgage, but when I came home I found a 6-year-old boy with my eyes, and the woman who hid him from me. I stood at the rusted front gate of my childhood home, a place I once believed would always feel warm, familiar, and safe. But after 7 long years, the air around it felt heavier. The wooden gate creaked when I pushed it open, the same way it did when I was a teenager sneaking out at night. The sound used to make me smile. Today, it only reminded me of everything that had broken since then. The house stood exactly the same, white paint peeling slightly at the corners, the old porch swing moving gently with the breeze, the plants my mother used to water every morning still lined up along the edge of the steps. But even with everything looking the same, nothing felt the same inside me. There was a sharp, cold distance between the house and the memories I held. I hadn't planned to return. I wasn't even supposed to hear the words that dragged me back. I know you paid off the $680,000 mortgage, but we're gifting the house too. My mother never finished the sentence. She just stopped talking mid-breath, panicked, and hung up. For a moment I stared at my phone, thinking I had heard wrong. I had worked for years, years of sleepless nights, double shifts, lonely birthdays to save this place. I did it because I believed one day I would rebuild my life here. I believed the house was all I had left to hold on to. And now it was being gifted away. I drove the entire night without stopping, my mind lost between anger, confusion, and a strange numbness that kept tightening around my chest. I kept replaying my mother's voice, trying to understand what she meant, who she meant, and why she sounded so nervous. But all of it made sense the moment I looked toward the front door and saw her step outside. Emma, the last person I ever expected to see. The last person I wanted to see. And the only person who still had the power to tear open wounds I tried so hard to bury. She froze on the top step when our eyes met. For a second, it felt like time paused. The wind stopped. Even the birds seemed to fall silent. Her hair was tied back in that same messy way she used to fix it when she was stressed, when she was trying to hide her shaking hands, when she didn't want me to see she'd been crying. 7 years. 7 years of unanswered questions. 7 years of silence. 7 years of wondering why she left me without a word. And now she was here, standing in front of my house. Her lips parted slightly, but she didn't speak. She just stared at me with wide eyes, a mix of guilt, fear, and something else, something that made my stomach twist. "Daniel," she whispered like saying my name hurt. I didn't move closer. I couldn't. My feet felt rooted to the ground. My heart was beating too loudly in my chest, a slow, angry thump that reminded me of the night she walked away. I took a slow breath. "So, you live here now?" The words came out flat, empty, emotionless. But inside, my voice was trembling. She looked down, her fingers twisting nervously the way they always did when she was hiding something. "It's complicated." A bitter laugh almost escaped my throat, but I swallowed it. Complicated. Everything with her had always been complicated. Even leaving me had been complicated. She never explained. She never came back. She just vanished. My eyes traveled across the porch, noticing small signs of her presence. Shoes neatly placed near the door, a half-wilted flower in a pot, a mug sitting on the railing with a faint lipstick stain. She had been here long enough to leave marks. Past sat between us like a thick wall, heavy and cold. We were once two people who dreamed of a life together in this same house. We talked about marriage, about future kids, about painting the rooms, about fixing the roof together. The house was supposed to be part of our story. And now she was standing on it like she belonged here. The wind picked up, brushing loose strands of hair across her face. For a moment, she tucked them behind her ear, and the movement hit me with a painful flash of memory. Her doing the same thing while sitting beside me on the porch years ago, laughing softly after telling me she loved me. I forced myself back to the present. "Where's my mother?" I asked. "She's inside," Emma said softly. "She didn't expect you to come." "I shouldn't have needed an invitation," I replied. The sadness in her eyes deepened, but I didn't let myself look too long. I didn't want to sink into old feelings. Not again. The setting sun behind the house cast a warm orange light across her face. It made her look softer, gentler, like the girl I once knew. But I reminded myself this wasn't the same girl. She was different now. She had secrets now. Secrets big enough to keep her away for 7 years. Secrets big enough to make her appear at my home without warning. My jaw tightened. "Why are you here, Emma?" Her breath hitched, and she hesitated before answering. I needed a place to stay for a while. And your mom needed help around here. It just happened. A weak excuse. A lie she didn't know how to cover properly. But I didn't push. Not yet. I needed to understand the situation, not explode at the first answer she gave. The silence between us grew heavier, almost suffocating. The air felt tight, thick with old memories and new tension. "It feels strange seeing you here," she whispered, her eyes softening for a moment. "I didn't think today would be the day you came back. I didn't think you'd still be part of my life in any way," I said quietly. She flinched slightly, like my words struck a place she was already hurting. I stepped closer, finally gathering the courage to say the thought that had been burning in my mind since I saw her. "I paid off this house, Emma," I said, my voice low and controlled. "I worked years for it. Why did my mother say she's gifting it away? To who? And why do I feel like you're involved?" Her lips parted again. She inhaled sharply. But she didn't answer. Not yet. And the silence she gave me told me the truth. Something was very, very wrong. The living room felt smaller than I remembered. Maybe it was the dim light, or maybe it was the weight of having Emma in the same space again after so many years. The last time we stood here together, we were imagining a future, choosing paint colors, talking about moving in after marriage, laughing about how the roof leaked when it rained too hard. Now, we stood on opposite sides of the room like strangers who shared too many memories. Emma kept rubbing her palms together, her eyes darting around the room as if she didn't know where to stand, where to look, or how to breathe. She wouldn't meet my eyes for more than a second. Every time she tried, her gaze slid away, landing on the window, the carpet, the old photographs on the wall, anywhere but my face. Something was twisting inside her. Something she wasn't saying. I watched her closely, quietly. She looked smaller somehow, like the girl who used to be full of energy and stubborn fire had been replaced by someone tired, unsure, and scared to speak. She kept biting her lip, a nervous habit she once tried to break. Back then, I held her hands and told her she didn't need to hide anything from me. Now she was hiding everything. "So," I finally said, breaking the thick silence, "how long have you been staying here?" She swallowed hard. "Just a few months. A few months. Living in the house I paid for. Living with my mother. Living in the same rooms we once dreamed in." I nodded slowly, trying to keep my voice calm. "And you never thought to call?" "Not once." Her face crumpled a little. "Daniel, you don't understand. A lot has happened. I didn't know if you'd want to hear from me." I let out a small, humorless breath. "You didn't know if I'd want to hear from the person who disappeared from my life without even a goodbye? You didn't think I deserved at least one conversation?" She flinched. "I'm sorry." Those 2 words used to mean something. Now they felt small, weak, and almost insulting. I moved across the room and sat on the edge of the old couch. Creaked under my weight, another familiar sound from the past that felt painfully out of place now. Emma stayed standing, arms wrapped around herself as if she needed the extra warmth or protection. "What happened 7 years ago?" I asked quietly. Her breath caught. She looked down again. That same reaction. That same silence. The same barrier she built the night she left. Back then I had begged. Back then I had chased her down the street. Back then she cried without giving me a single answer. Now, 7 years later, she still refused to say the truth. Her voice came out soft, trembling. Can we not go into that today? No, I said, my tone steady but firm. Today is exactly the day we go into it. You're living in my house, Emma. You're standing in front of me again like nothing happened. You owe me the truth. She pressed a hand over her chest, as if trying to calm her racing heartbeat. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. She looked up at me then, and for a second the old Emma appeared. The girl who loved too deeply, the girl who used to cling to my arm and whisper dreams into my ear. But that version of her disappeared in an instant, swallowed by guilt. I left because... She stopped, swallowed again, then looked at the hallway. The hallway. She had been glancing at it since I arrived. Every few seconds, her eyes shifted in that direction, quick, nervous, anxious. Something was there. Or someone. The hair on the back of my neck rose. Emma, I said slowly, what's down the hall? Her eyes widened. Nothing. It's just your mom's room. And some storage. Don't lie to me. The words came out sharper than I intended, but I didn't regret them. Not anymore. I had wasted too many years being gentle with people who weren't gentle with me. Emma stepped closer, her voice lowering to a desperate whisper. Please, Daniel. Today is already hard. Don't make it harder. I frowned. Hard for who? She hesitated. Her lower lip trembled. For both of us. A cold feeling settled in my stomach. You keep saying that, but you still won't explain anything. She squeezed her eyes shut, looking exhausted. I didn't expect you to walk in today. I wasn't ready. You weren't ready for what? She shook her head. Another silence filled the room, thicker than before. I leaned back against the couch, studying her slowly. The way she kept touching her wrist. The way her shoulders jerked every time there was a sound in the hallway. The way she kept saying she didn't expect me. Tell me something, I said quietly. Did my mother tell you I was coming? Emma hesitated for too long. Her face went pale. She didn't know the exact day. So you two have been talking about me. Her silence was the answer. I laughed once, not out of humor but disbelief. So my mother keeps secrets from me. And you keep secrets from me. 7 years later, and these two women still think I'm the one who shouldn't know anything. Daniel, it's not like that. It's exactly like that. She stepped closer, her voice pleading. Please don't be angry. Your mother didn't mean to hide things. And I didn't come here to take anything from you. But you did. My voice was calm, almost too calm. You took answers. You took time. You took 7 years of silence. And now you're taking my home? Her eyes filled with tears, but I didn't move to comfort her. That part of me, the soft, forgiving part, died the night she left. There was a sudden soft sound, a thump from the hallway. Emma froze. Her chest tightened. Her eyes darted toward the noise so fast she didn't even realize it. I noticed. Who's back there? I asked. She shook her head too quickly. And no one. It's just the house settling. Emma, I said, standing up, this house doesn't make noises like that. I grew up here. Her hand shook visibly now. Don't go there, she whispered. But her fear only pushed me further. I took one step toward the hallway. She panicked, rushing forward. Daniel, please just sit down with me. Talk to me. Not there. Not right now. I paused, staring at her. And in that moment, everything inside me clicked. She wasn't afraid of me seeing something. She was afraid of me seeing someone. Someone connected to her. Someone connected to the house. Someone connected to the 7 years she vanished. Her eyes filled with helplessness as she whispered, Please don't ask. Don't walk down that hall. My heart started pounding. 'Cause the truth was no longer just hidden. It was alive, breathing, waiting, and whatever she was hiding was about to change everything. I took one slow step toward the hallway. Emma reacted instantly. Her breath hitched, and she reached out as if grabbing the air could stop me. "Daniel, please," she whispered, voice shaking. "Not there, not yet." Her fear only confirmed what my heart already knew. Something important, something life-changing, waited at the end of that hallway. I moved forward anyway. Each step felt heavier, like I was walking through the last 7 years of my life. Every unanswered call, every silent night, every memory I tried to bury. The floorboards creaked under my shoes, and the sound echoed strangely in the narrow space. Behind me, I heard Emma's footsteps. Soft, nervous, hesitant. "Daniel," she tried again, "I'm begging you, let me explain first." But explanations meant nothing now. Not when the truth was only a few steps away. A small sound came from behind the half-closed door at the end of the hall. Tiny, hesitant shuffle. Not loud enough to be an adult. Not random enough to be an accident. My breath caught. I reached the door and pushed it open gently. The room smelled like crayons, like soft soap, like a child's world. And there he was, a small boy standing beside the bed, one hand holding a toy car, the other clutching the blanket. He looked about 6, maybe just a little older. His hair was messy, soft curls falling over his forehead. His eyes wide, deep brown. My eyes. He stared at me with that same shocked stillness Emma had shown at the front door, as if he had been warned this moment might come but never truly believed it would. Emma appeared behind me, breath trembling as she whispered, "Please don't scare him." But I was the one who couldn't breathe. The boy blinked, studying me slowly, cautiously. "Mom," he whispered. "Mom." The word hit me hard, like a punch that knocked the air out of my lungs. Mom. Her. Emma. The girl who left me. The girl who never returned. The girl who hid her pregnancy. The girl who raised this little boy alone. Or not alone. In my house. With my family. My voice barely came out. "He's mine, isn't he?" Emma didn't answer at first. She just covered her mouth, shoulders trembling. Tears streamed down her face, not dramatic, not loud, just slow, painful, unstoppable. "Yes," she finally whispered. "He's yours." The words fell into the room like stones, heavy, cold, impossible to ignore. A buzzing filled my ears, drowning out the world. I stared at the boy again, my son. 7 years old. 7 years I didn't get to see him crawl. 7 years I didn't get to hear his first word. 7 years I didn't get to hold him on bad nights or celebrate his good days. 7 years of being a stranger to my own child. Everything inside me broke. I crouched slowly so I wouldn't scare him. He took a small step back, confused. He didn't know me. How could he? Emma moved forward, her voice soft. "It's okay, sweetheart. He's someone very important. Someone very important. Not your father. Not the man who gave you your smile. Just someone." I didn't blame the boy, but I blamed everyone else. I looked up at Emma, my voice a whisper shaped by pain. "Why?" She closed her eyes. More tears fell, her whole body shaking with the weight of the truth she had carried for years. "I found out I was pregnant the week I left," she said, forcing each word out. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I went to your parents. I thought they'd help us. I thought they'd tell you. I thought they'd support us. My chest tightened. "And what did they do?" Her voice cracked. "They told me you weren't ready. That you'd get angry. That you'd feel trapped. They said you were already drowning in stress, that a baby would destroy your future." I shook my head slowly. "So they told you to leave me?" "No," she whispered. They told me you wanted me gone. Every muscle in my body froze. That's impossible, I said. I loved you more than anything. You know that. I know that now, she said quietly. But back then, I was scared. And they were so calm, so sure. They said it was best for everyone. They promised they would handle it. They gave me money. They helped me hide the pregnancy. They told me you'd forget me eventually. I felt sick. My own parents, I whispered. They knew. They knew I had a son. And they didn't tell me. Emma wiped her eyes. I came back only because your mother reached out. She said she was guilty. She said she couldn't hide it anymore. She asked me to move in so you could meet him one day. So that's why she called this morning, I said. The house, she's gifting it to you because she feels guilty. Emma nodded slowly. I never wanted the house. I never asked for it. I only wanted to fix what I broke. I just never expected you to show up today. The boy watched us silently, confused and curious. He didn't know the storm happening around him. He didn't know that his existence had changed everything in this house long before he was old enough to speak. I took a slow breath and turned back to him. Hey, I said softly. I'm Daniel. He tilted his head. Are you a friend of Mom? I swallowed a lump so thick it hurt. Something like that. His eyes searched mine, and for a moment something flickered there. Maybe recognition, maybe instinct. Do you like cars? He asked, lifting the toy slightly. A small, broken smile touched my lips. Yeah, I do. He took one hesitant step forward, holding out the toy. That tiny movement shattered the last piece of anger inside me. Not the anger at Emma or my parents, those emotions remained sharp and burning. But the anger at the situation softened. Because this little boy didn't deserve any of the pain that created him. He deserved truth. He deserved love. He deserved his father. I stood up and faced Emma again. You know what hurts the most? I said softly. I didn't lose a house. I didn't lose money. I lost my son. 7 years. 7 birthdays. 7 chances to hold him. My voice cracked, but I didn't hide it. Do you have any idea what that does to a person? Emma covered her face, sobbing. I'm sorry. Daniel, I'm so sorry. I stepped closer, not to comfort her, not to forgive her, but to finally end the circle of silence and lies. I'm not angry anymore, I said quietly. Not in the way you think. I'm just done letting people decide my life without me. Emma lowered her hands slowly, her eyes red and desperate. What are you going to do? I looked at my son, my beautiful, innocent boy. Then I looked back at her. You can keep the house, I said. If that's what makes everyone feel better. She blinked, confused. What? Then what do you want? I'm taking back my life, I said. And I'm taking back my son. You don't get to hide the truth from me again. Her breath caught. Daniel. You kept my child from me, I said, each word steady and grounded. But you won't keep me from him. The room fell silent. Emma's tears slowed. Her shoulders trembled. The boy watched us carefully, sensing something important was happening. I turned toward the doorway. And with my hand on the frame, I spoke the final line. Not angry, not loud, but deep enough to shake her world. You can keep the house. But you don't get to keep us.